Yep. All right, go ahead, Coach. Well, as always, guys, appreciate your time coming by to cover our team, and excited for our team to keep learning and growing. And first and foremost, thank you, Jesus, for another day of life, man. Thank you for another day to have an impact on these kids, and just so thankful that God's called us here to continue to push forward and build men through the vehicle of football, and excited to see our team keep growing. So got a lot of things for us to grow in, and proud of how our guys were able to find a way to win on Friday night. And it's hard to win. It's hard to win on the road. And our guys found a way. A lot of stuff on film that we've got to improve on in all three phases. But proud of our guys finding a way to win. Defensively, one of our better outings. But there's still a lot of stuff on film that needs to get fixed. And that's why we don't look at just the end result. All right, you gave up 3 points. Yes, awesome. 5 turnovers, awesome. But there's still a lot of things on film defensively that we had some guys running free. We had some things that they weren't able to capitalize on that we got to get fixed defensively. But proud of how those guys have continued to grow and improve. Proud of Jeremiah Irby with his 2 interceptions. That's a senior that keeps battling, banged up, practices hard. Amara McCoy got an interception. Our fronts continue to find ways to improve. We're able to roll a lot of guys in our front, which is huge. Ty Benefield continues to be an eraser in the back end, which is needed. So I think defensively we are improving and growing, and we need to. We've got a huge test come this week. I'm proud of how they played Friday night with a lot of stuff to improve on. Offensively, we just got to find ways to create more explosives. Proud of how we were able to wear Nevada out late in the game and find a way to win. But we have to find a way to be more explosive. And that starts with us as coaches putting our players in the right spots. Then it goes down to our players executing in all phases of our offense. Offensive line, tight ends, running backs, receivers, quarterback. That's a huge part. So we're going to continue to look at it holistically. We have improved in regards to some of the self-inflicted negatives. We did have 1 false start, but those have improved. We got to focus on that. We got to make sure that doesn't happen. And we got to find ways to win our one-on-one and capitalize on some of the explosive plays that are out there. We had some open receivers, weren't able to give them the ball. We had some too many TFLs on 1st and 10 especially that get you behind the sticks. We got to find a way to be more explosive. We have more than enough. We just got to be more explosive. But I am proud of our offense finding a way to win the game and make critical plays when we needed them to. Special teams-wise, we're improving. We're growing. We had one of a sky punt situation that we didn't catch and pin him inside the 5 that is frustrating because it is something we work and rep and practice. That's a huge field position swing from an offense starting the 5 versus a touchback. So we got to make sure we work on that. But you see later in the game, we were able to get the fumble on the sky punt situation. That was a huge, huge game changer turnover in that game that is a pivotal moment. So I think we're growing in our special teams units, but obviously need to continue on that rise. Colton Boomer had a good day, had all his touchbacks, made the field goal and all PATs, so that's a huge point of emphasis. Oscar Doyle continues to be a really, really solid punter for us, and we can do a lot with him, throwing, kicking, and we've got a lot of things in the arsenal with him. So proud of our guys stopping the fake field goal, too, which is a huge play in the game. Our guys have been repping certain formations and different things that we knew we were going to see from Nevada, and we're able to execute in that critical moment. So proud of our guys of the win. Still a lot of things that we got to work to improve and grow in, and it's going to continually, we know we're going to always get a team's best, and we got to make sure that we are on the rise and growing every single week, which is easier said than done. That's why you look across college football, and it's hard to win. And we got to continue to find ways to get it done and grow our team every single week. Injury-wise, hopefully we get Zion back rolling this week. We'll see he's able to do a little bit more this weekend, and in a good place with where he could be this week. Devon Banks, another one that hopefully we get back this week. He had a good day of treatment when we were gone. He did a good job this morning in some treatment stuff. So hopefully we get him back, because those 2 guys will be huge parts of our defense. And so hopefully we get them back rolling. Chris Marshall will not be a part of the team this week. Love Chris. He is a huge part of this team, but he's not going to be a part of this week. The standards that we have here and how you act and how you interact with coaches and players matters. And I hope that he uses this time to learn and grow from. I love Chris. He is a huge part of this team, and I hope that he uses this time to learn and grow. When he does come back next Monday and is a part of this team, that he will be even better for it, because we love Chris, and he is a huge part of this. Not going to answer any more questions on that. Just want to make sure you guys are aware of it. In regards to Fresno State, think the world of Matt Entz, and got to know him a little bit over the past 10 months since he's gotten the job. And I mean, he's won national championships at North Dakota State. Great football mind. I've talked to I know guys that know him too and just speak to what type of a coach he is, but more importantly, what type of a leader he is and how it is to work for him, how it is to be around him. I got a lot of respect for Matt Entz and how he runs his programs, and he's obviously done a phenomenal job with Fresno State, and they're going to continue to be on the rise with him at the helm. And you look at their team, I mean, last 2 times we played Fresno State, they beat us. Last time they played us on the blue in the championship game, they beat us. Last time we played Fresno State at their place, they beat us. I mean, we got to flip that, and we know we're going to get their absolute best. And they got a great roster, they got great coaches, and we know it's going to be a huge test. And they've got some things rolling. So offensively, they made a switch at quarterback last game, played a sophomore, number 17, and he did some good things. I mean, there's some drops out there that I know they're going to work to get fixed. They're going to put you in a lot of conflict, a lot of different personnel groupings from 11 to 12 to 22. And whenever it's your first game starting, there's going to be some things that you can improve on, but that quarterback's going to be good. I mean, he's a sophomore. And we know we're going to get his best this week, and got a lot of respect for Coach Entz and the move he made, and I know we're going to get their best. They got a good receiving core. Fresno State will always have weapons. You see that not even in their special teams unit with their returners. So they've got weapons at running back, they got weapons at receiver, they got weapons at tight end. And honestly, look at their offensive line. One of the better offensive line units we've seen this season is going to be the one we see Saturday afternoon. So they're very well coached. They're going to be able to pound the rock and then pick their spots to take their shots. So we got a lot of work, a lot of things we got to do to defend them, and they're going to be explosive offensively. Defensively, they've got some similar bones to us. 4 down front. I really like both their returning corners. Both guys are returning starters, play really well. They got a couple really good edge guys that play hard. They got a transfer from Drake that, man, he wreaks havoc. He does a really, really good job. Their linebackers, one of them was banged up. He's probably going to be back this week. Number 10, who's a really good player. They play well together. They're sound. They've seen a lot of different offenses. And they've done a really good job defending them and eliminating explosive plays. So our offense has their work cut out for them because they're going to be sound, they're going to be in the right spot, and they're going to be able to attack you with pressures, but also attack you with their 4 down front. They got 2 really good interior D tackles. One of them we recruited coming out of high school, that ended up going to USC. Number 44, really good player, and they're going to be well coached up front, and they're going to work well together. Special teams wise, Baxter's done it for a long time, and he's got a bunch of different answers, and he's going to put us in a lot of conflict. So we got to do a really good job this week on special teams, making sure we're sound in our coverage units because they have explosive returners, and then we got to do a good job in our return units, doing a good job finding a way to steal yardage because it's going to be an absolute heavyweight battle Saturday afternoon. So got a lot of respect for Coach Entz, like I said, and we know we're going to get a loaded Fresno State team that's fired up to come play us. And like I said, the past 2 times we played Fresno State, they've beat us, and so we got to look at it to make sure we're better Saturday night. So need Bronco Nation to be there in full support on Saturday afternoon, which I know they will. It's a huge, huge league matchup for us.
You guys are, played 8 games, 4 at home, 4 on the road, undefeated at home. We all know about that streak, but the numbers as well. Like, why is it that you think this team, for whatever reason, is so much better at home?
Yeah, Johnny, I mean, we've been able to play well at home. I think you also look at the opponents we've played, too. I mean, South Florida and Notre Dame on the road are 2 good football teams that we did not play our best, and we got beat. And that's on me as the head coach to get fixed. So, but we're looking at it holistically to see why are we not playing to the standard that we want to on the road. Because we found a way to win Friday night, and I'm proud of our team. But did we play our absolute best in all 3 phases? No, we didn't. And there's a lot of things that we're looking at to see why that is. Is it just because we're out of location? There's a lot of things we're looking at to see how we can do it better, Johnny, because we have to.
What do you see in terms of the offense down at the goal line? I mean, you had, I think, 9 plays.
Man,
and 6
felt like 50 plays, BJ. Yeah.
Six for no gain though inside the 5. I mean, what?
Well, and I think 2 of them were tackles for loss, and one of them we dropped the ball. I think the Lord we were able to get on it. Yeah, I mean that can't happen. I mean that's a mentality of our team. We get down in the goal line, we have to come away with touchdowns, and we want to establish a run game, and we didn't. I mean, hats off to Nevada. I mean they stoned us 4 times down there. I think by the grace of God, one of their D linemen was offsides, and we're able to run it in the next play, but yeah, it's unacceptable. I mean, we got to find a way to make sure we can pound the rock down there, and we got to look at it holistically. Our players got to go out there and execute, and we got to put them in good spots.
Yeah, you guys used to use that Clydesdale package a lot more than you have this year. I mean,
Yeah.
Is that something that you need to look at again, or is there a reason you guys haven't wanted to use that more down there? Or
Yeah, we're looking at that this week, BJ, because we got to see what of our defensive linemen can go in there and do. We know Braxton can, but he's doing a ton for us right now on defense. But I know me and our offensive coaches are looking at the Clydesdale package to see what are some defensive players we can get in there because we need to be better in the goal line.
You mentioned Colton. Last year, you guys ranked 101st in the country in touchback percentage. This year, you guys are 5th. How much of a difference has that made?
I mean, Jay, huge. I mean, the hard part is the couple that we didn't, one of them went to the house. And so we got to make sure our coverage units are on point because no one's going to ever be absolutely 100% on touchbacks. We had to cover kicks. But being able to know that more times than not, that thing's going to be kicked through the end zone and you know where you're starting on defense is a huge part in regards to field position and just the violence that a kickoff is on your coverage units, the amount of blows that happens, that wears on you as the season goes on. And so Colton Boomer's done a really good job, man. I'm proud of him. I'm excited where he's growing to, and that's been a huge addition for us this offseason.
Area that can obviously be a little overlooked, but I mean, last year it really did hurt you guys a number of times. So how much did you guys? How pleased are you with how you addressed it, I guess?
Yeah, it was a huge point of emphasis this offseason was bringing Colton here to make sure that was a huge part of why he brought him is to kick touchbacks, obviously to kick field goals and PATs too, but a big part of it was field position. And I'm proud of how he's been able to do it on the road, at home, because it's just huge for your entire team. Outside of just knowing that it's not being returned, like I said, there's physical blows that happen on kickoff that you don't want to cover a ton of those. And it's been a huge part of our team.
Obviously, Ben's out for the season. You're going to be even thinner of wide receiver this weekend. So who has to kind of rise to the occasion? How do you think Chase did playing about as much as he has in the second half this season? Yeah,
it's for us here, man. It's always team is greater than me, and that's what I'm doubling down on. And this is for players, coach. It is all about the team, and I don't care if we win 199 or 2-0. It's about the team, and I see it no different with injuries. When someone gets hurt or someone's not a part of the team, someone's whatever it's carry the flag, next man up. And I mean, Chase Penry stepped in, did a really good job. We've seen him do that. He's been chomping at the bit, practicing really well. And he got more opportunities this past weekend, did a good job. He's going to get more opportunities this week. Cam Bates, football guy, making big time catches, banged up, getting taped up, getting back in the game. He's a football guy. Latrell Caples, football guy, starts on multiple special teams, makes the hard catch, makes the hard block. Football guy, Matt Lauder, Matt Wagner. So we've got those guys. We got some young freshmen that we're going to get out there playing too to be able to go cut it loose. So it's next man up, carry the flag, and we got to do a good job pouring into them this week. Fresno State has a really good secondary to be able to mix up some coverages, man, zone, but we need guys to go out there and win one-on-ones, and we've got what it takes, and it's next man up, carry the flag.
So in the second half, Chris didn't play very much. Was that related to whatever's going on? Or?
What's Matt Miller's greatest strength as a receiving coach that you see?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, whenever someone's played the position, I think you could always give good insights, not just off watching film, but hey, these are some intricacies for it. But he does a really good job pouring into those young men and helping them play with the mentality, especially what we do offensively. First and foremost for us is we got to establish a run game. And from that means our receivers have to be able to block. And that's uncommon. Our receivers block their tails off. And that's a testament to them, testament to Coach Miller pouring into them. They block their tails off, and then they got to go take the top off of defense. So he does a great job teaching them the fundamentals and techniques of the position, but also pouring into them the mentality that it takes to play a part of our offense.
You rolled Madsen out a lot into the left side, too. Was that just trying to catch Nevada by surprise, or what do you like about him rolling out that way?
Yeah, Maddox can roll either way. Obviously, as a right-handed quarterback, it's easier to roll to your right, but he's gifted. He can do it both ways, and we don't want to have too many tendencies to where certain hash, you're not booting that way.
Talking about wide receiver who's been willing to step up, just what have you liked out of Cam Bates? Not just with what he's doing, but the efficiency as well. It's once he has a chance, he does something with it.
Yeah, Cam Bates, a football guy. What do I mean by that? He's all about the team. He's on our field goal block unit. He's on kickoff. He's on our punt return unit. He's a football guy. And so the opportunities he gets, if it's fly sweep, if it's fade balls, if it's wheels, if it's slants, he's about the team, and he's a weapon now. He's tough. He's hard to bring down. and he is a great teammate. Every single person in this locker room loves Cam Bates because of what he does for the team.
You said it a few times. I don't know how many teams outside of Fresno State can say they beat you guys twice in a row.
Yeah.
How do you use that as motivation? What are you saying to the team?
Yeah, I always think about, for me, I always want our guys to focus on their process and their discipline way more than just motivation, because motivation will fade after the first kickoff and a couple plays. But I also want to make sure guys always know what time it is. That's always my job as head coach. I never want you walking into a battle not understanding what's about to happen. And with them understanding, the last 2 times we played Fresno State, they beat you, one at home and on the road. You're going to get Fresno State's best. They are going to have a very talented team. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be hungry. That's why they beat us the last 2 times we played them. And like I said, I think the world of Coach ends. I know that program's absolutely on the rise. So it's our job to make sure as coaches our players know what's about to happen. We just got to go out there and execute and play team football.
I don't know what kind of conversations you've had with him or just what you've seen from him this week. Malik Sherrod, what's this game mean to him?
Yeah, I think whenever you transfer from a university, like no different, we had conversations with Jaden Mickey prior to playing Notre Dame. Obviously, Malik Sherrod played for Coach J-Mo when he was there. I think this is a little bit different because it is a completely new staff. So it's not like these are coaches. I mean, some of the coaches have still been there, but majority of them are not coaches that he's been with. But I'm sure it's going to be an emotional time for Malik because it is a team that he played for and had a lot of success with. Obviously, I remember playing against him the 2 times they beat us. And so it's going to be, but Malik's such a great kid. He loves being here. He's a huge part of this team. And I even told him this week, I was like, Malik, you're a Bronco. Yes, I know you played at Fresno State, but I'm not going to think about that one bit this week. You're a Bronco. You're a part of this team, and we need your best to help us go find a way to beat them.
Then when you go ahead and play for rivalry trophies, what does that bring to college football? What do you like about rivalry trophies in college football?
Yeah, I think just whenever you're able to play a team a lot, and in the 9 years I've been here, I don't know how many times we played Fresno State, but it's been a bunch. And a lot of times it was playing in the regular season, playing again in the championship game. Whoever won the regular season matchup lost the championship game. Like there was some back and forth there for a bunch of years. Like I said, last time we played them in the championship game, they beat us. And so I think it just brings out so much from especially geographically. I mean, they're not far away from us. We're not far away from them. There's a lot of, and this has been going on for years, right? Way before I've been here. I've even talked to Coach Pete before about Fresno State and the milk can and kind of what came about from that, from when the Carr brothers were quarterback there. I mean, there's a lot of history between Boise State and Fresno State. We got a lot of respect for them. I know they got a lot of respect for us. And so I think with that makes college football a lot better when you have those.
A few weeks ago, see Braxton put on a neck roll, and then Marco adds one, and Jaden, follows the trend this last week, and obviously they look cool. But like this will be your 7th game in a row since your last bye. So how much more time and attention is on just how difficult it is to play basically 2 straight months of football every week?
Yeah, I mean, when we looked at the season, knowing we had such an early bye week and such a late bye week, we knew this 7-game stretch was gonna be an absolute battle. I mean, when I get our injury report every day, I mean we're finding new ways to shrink it because it's just almost everyone on our team's on there somehow, braced up, beat up, banged up, things they can do at practice, things they can't do. But it is what it is, and that's why if guys can't go, it's next man up, carry the flag, because this is game 7 of a 7-game stretch before a bye week. But it is what it is. Our guys love this team. They love football. We got to find a way to see who can play this week and who can carry the flag and give everything we need. But this is a tough group, man. I mean, you talk about Braxton Feely. I mean, yeah, he's got about every brace we can find. And he's a guy that you will not get him out of practice because he's like, I need those reps to go play my best, even though he's got every collar and brace we could find just to get him out there and keep him safe. He's a football guy. He loves his team. I mean, Jaden Virgin Morgan. We had Cole Miller had a neck roll on. I haven't seen a safety in a long time wear a neck roll, but it's finding a way to get him out there to practice because these guys love their team, and I got the utmost respect for them.
Not to pry too much, but I know you kind of went into it right there, but what does it look like for you during the week versus maybe even almost the illusion of game day where there are certain guys that might seem like they're 100% or whatever.
Yeah, that's why early on we put a premium on Bloody Tuesday and Workday Wednesday. So if someone can't participate in one of those 2 days, we're not going to count on them playing, because it's just there's too much in the game plan, too many things in regards to growing and fine-tuning and building skill. So we find a lot. But after we get done with our Wednesday practice, we really got a pretty good idea of who's going to play in this game or not.
We've talked a lot about the inconsistencies with Maddox. We've talked a lot about the inconsistencies with the wide receivers, and you constantly bring up the inconsistencies with the explosive plays. What's the state of the passing game right now?
Yeah, I think to your point, Mike, we just got to be more consistent. And I mean, whatever it was a week ago, we had 50-some points, and everybody's happy, right? But even in those games, early on, we missed some throws in the UNLV game, but still scored, points, whatever. We just got to be more consistent. And that's holistically. That's how we install it. That's how our players go out and execute. That's how we practice it. So just like tackling, takeaways, defense, whatever it is, we are problem solvers as coaches. We're a process-focused football team. So we don't run from that stuff, Mike, looking to see, okay, what is it? Is it how we're teaching it, how we're coaching it, who we're putting in the game? Who do we need to get the ball more? How are we simplifying it? How can Maddox do a better job? How can our O-line do a better job? Are we making sure we're getting our receivers the ball that needed in certain situations? So we're looking at it holistically to make sure we're better.
When Maddox is inconsistent, what are the common themes that you guys see Monday through Friday?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for him is, he's a warrior, man. He's banged up, beat up, and there's been some times he can't practice because he's banged up. So we just got to continually make sure the plan is clear, it's concise, so he can go out and execute. Our receivers, our O-line, our tight end, it's everyone. And obviously as the quarterback, that's always where the first finger goes. And yes, was Maddox perfect? No, there's a lot of things on film that he needs to improve on, but it's everybody involved, coaches, every position group. And so for us, it's going to come down to practice. It's making sure that our offense, defense, special teams go out and have a really good week of practice so that we can improve and play better this weekend.
I know you can't get specific when it comes to recruiting and stuff, but you guys have, I think, something crazy, like 4 of your last 5 quarterback commits have decommitted or something. How do you, as a coach, deal with that? And I guess what's your philosophy on official visits when a player is recruited and things like that? That's obviously getting a lot of talk the last 24 hours.
Yeah, BJ, to me, it's all about our process. And what I mean by that, like if we handle the process right with the recruit, I sleep at night however it goes. If we end up getting him, that's the right fit for us. We know that he knows he's called here, because I believe in this place. I believe there's no better place to play college football or coach college football than Boise State. Period. End of story. That's not hype. That's not a recruiting speech. That's why I've been here 9 years, is because I believe that this place will develop you to be the best version of yourself. And a lot of our players, everyone here, and a lot of our commits believe that too. Not because this is their only option. Majority of all commits could go anywhere, almost anywhere they want. There's going to be certain guys, and not getting too much into it, that have different opportunities and want to go places. For me, I'm all about our process, man. If we've done it the right way with that young man, with that family, and they know exactly what our vision is for them and why we believe this is the perfect fit, they're either going to want to be a part of this or not. But I am never going to try and force young men to be here. I'm not going to use money to try and make a kid come here. That's not what I believe in. I want kids that want to be here. I want kids that want to be a part of this team. And if they don't, this ain't the right fit for them. And I sleep at that as long as we handle our process. And I'm not saying we've ever been perfect, but I feel really good about the freshman class we signed last year. Those guys are going to be big-time football players here, and even better in regards to raising the culture. No different this year. I love the commits we got. And if there's some guys that at this point are getting recruited by a bunch of schools and want to go somewhere else, that's up to them and their family. I believe in what God's doing here. I believe in what we're building here. And in regards to recruits taking official visits, I'm not a big fan of it. It's something that when someone commits, I take that very seriously, because I know if BJ Raines commits, I'm not going to go out and recruit somebody else then. It's not, well, what a lot of schools will do is you commit and we're going to hold that spot, but I'm still going to try to recruit better than you. We don't do that here. You commit, that means you're coming. And that means that's a two-way street. That means we're not recruiting that position anymore. If we're full, it's over. And a lot of our commits understand that. Some don't. Some don't. And everybody's got their different path. I believe it's all going to work out in the end as long as our process is right. It's not, oh, whatever. I'm all about our process. Have we done it the right way with our visits? Have we done it the right way with our communication? Everything's tracked for us. Everything's the right way. I'm very involved in that space. And as long as we've done that the right way, I believe we will always find the right guys. Because here, it isn't about stars. It isn't about offers. It's about the right kid. And talent sets the floor. Their character sets the ceiling. And for me, a huge part of character is love football and want to be here. Because if you got those two, you can take kids really, really far. So, long way to answer your question, BJ. It's this time of year. I mean, it's hard because people, all 135 other FBS teams, know our diligence in recruiting. They know we turn over every rock to find the right character kid, the OKG. And so then everybody comes in on our commits this time of year, which it is what it is. I don't lose sleep on it as long as our process is right. And I know the kids we're going to sign in December are going to be elite football players, but more importantly, elite young men to push this culture even further.
The second part you said there, I mean, you guys do a lot of homework for other schools, and you look at whether it's Georgia or Oregon or places where your commits have ended up committing to after you. I mean, how, at the quarterback position, I guess, how frustrating is that when it has happened as many times as it has the last couple of years?
Yeah, BJ, it's frustrating. Absolutely. I mean, you pour your heart into recruiting. And for me, I'm a relationship guy. That's who I am. I don't do anything half-hearted. Like if I'm recruiting a kid, I'm all in. Like because if you commit to us, you're going to be a son to me, and I don't take that mantle lightly with these kids. And I tell their parents that like I'm going to be here with your son because I'm going to love him and help him grow to be the best version of himself, and that's going to take everything. So when someone is a part of that and then decides not to be, it absolutely is hard. It's hard on my heart because you build a relationship, you love these kids, and I want God's best for them, and I believe that's right here. But if they don't, I can't force them to see that because this place is too special. And I want guys here that want to be here and know that there's no better place than right here. Because I also see it both ways. If you find a way to smoke and mirrors to seduce a kid to sign, let's say he comes here and plays really well, he's going to leave if he knows this isn't the right fit for him. We got to find kids that want to be here and know that this is the best place for them and know where this program's heading because I believe this program's on the rise. We got a lot of things we got to fix, a lot of things we got to grow in, but I believe the best is still to come to this program, and we got to continue to find the right kids.
To your point about being banged up, the tackling is something that looked like to be fixing at the New Mexico game, and the last two games it's kind of popped up again. How do you kind of address that when guys are so banged up in practice, and how do you attempt to continue to fix that?
Yeah, this time of year, tackling's hard to rep, extremely physical in practice, but we got to continue to find ways to do it. So it's tackling bags, finding ways to make sure body position's on point, because we played well on defense this week, but there's some missed tackles out there. And UNLV, the majority of the explosive plays they got were missed tackles. So it's something that we can't, I don't care if it's game number 9 or it's game number whatever, we got to find ways to make sure we're repping in practice, and we will, because it's at the end of the day, all defense is to get 11 guys on the same page, and when that ball is thrown or handed off, we need to get them on the ground, and we got to be more consistent with it. So we're going to continue to rep it. It is different this time of year, but we got to find ways to rep it.
Just back to the recruitment. I'm sure it's different for every kid, but you've got all these schools who've got selling points, and a kid's got 15 schools talking to him. What are your general selling points that you kind of give kids as they're here and visiting?
Yeah, I mean that's the reality of every single one of our commits. Is this time of year with them, their family, their support system, is they committed here because they believed in the fact that if their son or them comes here, they're going to be developed to be the best version of themselves right here. And I say version of themselves because not just football. That's not what we do here. Built different is building champions on and off the field. That's what matters to me. Because if I'm just trying to build them as football players, I'm missing so much of their life. And I'm a firm believer, you grow the young man to make better decisions in life, he's going to make better decisions on fourth down. I believe that. And so I don't sell anything to parents. I don't sell anything to kids. I show them us. This is what we do here. And then I show them players that we've done it with. And I show them, hey, this is what you will do if you come here. And this is how. This is how I'm involved. This is how I'm involved with you every single day. Because I love and care about you. Not well, if you come here, this is how much we're going to score touchdowns, and this is all the money you're going to make, and all that, which is all things that matter in recruiting. Where I focus and where we focus on the staff is I want guys that want to be elite. And then they just need help of what that looks like, to how that looks. That's our job. That's our job as mentors and coaches. And for me, we don't need to find 500 players that fit that. We need to find 20. We need to find 20. And we need to find 20 dudes that are built different, that, yes, have high talent, but more importantly, character through the roof, because some of them will play as true freshmen, but all of them will be really successful here and be world changers in life if they have that makeup. But it's also the time of year, like, these kids are getting hit up by everybody around the country, quarterbacks even more. And so, I mean, I have good cover. Like, I get it. I tell them, like, hey, man, I get what this time of year is. I get how stressful it is, and I'll be praying for you because I get the amount of things pulling at you. Now, what do I think? That's what even for coaches in this landscape, people hit me up on jobs. For me, it's like, I'm here. I'm here because I know God's called me here. But if you let everybody call you and entertain you're not going to know what to do. And so my heart does go out to these kids because it is a lot. But at some point, you got to draw the line in the sand and say, I'm going to Boise State. I'm a Bronco because I know that's where I'm going to be developed to be the best version of myself, because that's what we do here. We are a developmental program that will build people, and that's what we double down on.
In the beginning a little bit, but Irby, he's been playing great all year. Maybe hasn't gotten the amount of shine that some of the other guys have, obviously, but after his performance, just what can you say about his whole year performance?
So proud of him, man. I think early on in the year, there's a lot of talk about our pass defense or this or that. What I'm so proud of, what Demo's been able to do, Coach Stock, our players, is just work. Just work. Jeremiah Irby, week 9, work 8, week 9, banged up, beat up, wraps, training room, but practicing. And then he goes out and has 2 big-time interceptions in the game, and I've seen him do that day in and day out in practice. And I just think that's such a huge teachable moment for our team, that you want to achieve, you want to be the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week, or you want to get those things, you got to put the work in. Everything in this life is earned, and Jeremiah Irby's put the work in. I'm proud of him.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Go for it. Nate, what did you see down at the goal line? I think you guys had 8 or 9 plays and had some trouble trying to push it in there when you got inside the 5 as much as you did. What did you see down there?
Yeah, I thought schematically I screwed something up that didn't give us the best advantage. And then fundamentally there's a bunch of things that showed up. Big part just pad level with the O-line, the tight ends, the running back, playing with poor pad level. And it showed up in critical moment right there on the goal line. But it's a good wake-up call for us and our guys, and something that we can emphasize this week and moving forward, because that's a mentality play for us. So we have to go out and really execute it with our fundamentals more than anything else.
You guys haven't used the Clydesdale package as much, and Spencer said part of that's just because of Braxton being either banged up or doing a lot. He said maybe you guys were going to look at some other guys. I mean, is that a package that you think we could see more of again? Or?
Yeah, it really is just dependent on personnel. And Brax is doing so much for us defensively and battling so much that I didn't want to put him in that situation. Now, we got to evaluate everything we do. We might have to change personnel and try new things, because obviously it was not effective enough. But a guy like Brax, what he gives us to our team on defense, I don't want to do anything to jeopardize that.
No Chris Marshall this week. What's that going to take away from anything regarding your play calling or what you guys want to do offensively, not having Chris Marshall? What's the effect?
I think it's really an opportunity for a lot of our young guys to step up and kind of get more experience. we've done a good job of exposing those young receivers in games already, but a big part of that is them now stepping in to a larger role or responsibility and taking advantage of that opportunity. I think they're more than capable of executing everything within our offense, so I don't see us having to adapt too much. It's more getting those young guys ready to go.
With that being said, it's Monday, I get it, but just who are you excited to see in that wide receiver group who could potentially step up after what you've seen through 8 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, Cam Bates is a great example of somebody that just continues to make plays, and he's another guy that we're going to have to rely on moving forward. But Quentin Brown is another young guy, true freshman, that's been making plays that he's going to now have to take a step forward. Same thing with Cash. I mean, the whole group, I think, is primed and ready to take that next step because of the experience they've been getting kind of game in and game out throughout the start of the season.
Maybe not a young guy, but Chase Penry's right there as well. Just
Absolutely, yeah. No, I thought Chase had a phenomenal game this past week. He did a lot of great things for us. He played extremely hard. He made some big plays. So no, I'm more than excited to see what he does this week. But we've been relying on him for a while. But I'm very proud of how he played this past game.
It really feels like the last 2 games he's come up with big catches. And, I know he had injury issues earlier in his career, but, just how long has he been waiting for really a moment like this?
Yeah, it's tough to say, but I think he's been ready. He's been ready. To your point, he did struggle with some injuries in the past, but he's been staying healthy, and he provides so much value just because of his flexibility, what he can do for us, the multiple positions that he can play. I think been ready, and he's kind of showing that to everybody.
Love to have probably a 75-yard touchdown off the bat or whatever, but what's it like? What goes through your mind when you see a 15-play, 80-yard scoring drive that covers 8 minutes and 18 seconds in the fourth quarter?
A lot of things, missed opportunities for some explosives, but proud of the resiliency. And I think that shows a lot of character of our offense. I think we've been doing that as far as how we finishing in the fourth quarter, how we're finishing games, how we're kind of being that physical presence late in games. I think that's important for us. But I want to see, 3-play drives when we're executing and hitting those explosive plays that are out there. That's the biggest thing. But I'm proud of the way those guys responded. And then obviously that was a big drive for our entire team and to finish the game.
Dylan why is he so good in the fourth quarter? Like he just seems like he leads the country in fourth quarter rushing yards by a pretty wide margin. What is it about him that feels like late in games is usually worse?
I think that goes back to Coach Hilgard, our strength staff, his training, his ability to kind of keep that endurance throughout a game. I think he gets better throughout a game because he sees things, he learns from each rep, and he can anticipate things. But overall, it's just his mentality that he's been playing with. I mean, he broke a ton of tackles there in that last drive in critical situations, and a big part of that is just playing with the mentality.
What did you see from Maddox's performance? It seemed like at times there were some open receivers that he either didn't see or tried to throw to somebody else at times in that game.
Yeah, I thought he was inconsistent. And like I said, there was plays out there that we didn't make, and I know, he's going to be evaluating himself in this whole process. But he's so critical to what we do offensively, and so just getting him to play as consistent as possible will help everybody. But he did miss a few, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. But a big part of that is me, Coach Hill, our offensive staff, making sure that he is ready to go. He knows exactly what we expect, and then we can count on him because he's that type of guy for us.
Did you see something from Nevada, or what was the reason maybe that he seemed like he was rolling out to the left a lot in that game?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that. I think it's good in general for an offense to be able to roll the quarterback both directions. Otherwise, the defense is going to key on you. They're going to start doing things to take that away. So I think that's important to break a tendency and show that we're able to do that. Now, is it harder on a quarterback? Absolutely. So that's always something we got to keep in mind. I got to keep in mind. But I think it's important for a defense to have to defend booting both directions.
Why does that work for Madsen? I mean, is it creating passing lanes plus a lot of other different things that we don't think about? Why is it good for him to go out right or left?
It's more for what the defense can and can't do. If we're always booting to his right, then they can start, game planning that and taking that away. But the ability to do both gives us more flexibility within the offense. And I do think Maddox does a good job booting to his left, getting his shoulders around and staying fairly accurate for the most part, which I think is rare amongst quarterbacks, and it's something that we got to take advantage of.
How much of it was Nevada just like surprise looks defensively versus maybe his decision-making that led to the struggles?
No, I think that's a great defense. I don't think they get enough credit. Coach Ione, as we all know, is a phenomenal coach. And we're very familiar with each other. So there's a lot of that going on, cat and mouse game. But I think a big part of it is just making sure in our process, are we doing all the things necessary to get him in the flow of the game and get him playing his best? I think they did some things that were different that they hadn't shown, but we had prepared well, I thought, on a short week. I thought our offensive staff did a really good job kind of preparing for all those situations and looks. And it really comes down to everybody, not just the quarterback, but everybody on the field doing their job so we can execute. That's really what it is.
You mentioned the lack of explosive plays. Spencer was mentioning it. Do you think in this last game, on Friday, was it just the matchups or was it just your lack of execution? How much do you think of each of it was?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is just the lack of execution. That's really what it was. It was out there. We just didn't execute the plays. And that's kind of who we are right now. We're trying to get better, be more consistent. But we have the ability to have 20 explosive plays in a game like we've seen and have 8 or 7. And a big part of that is guys making those plays when they come to them. And we have to take advantage of those opportunities when we get them. That's just who we are offensively.
Spencer's mentioned a couple times Maddox being banged up like a lot of guys out there. I mean, how much is that limiting either what you can call or what he can do out there?
On game day, he'd be the first one. Don't limit me. Nothing's limited, but he is toughing it out. He's doing everything he can to be ready for our team. But really, it doesn't limit him too much. You see him, obviously, big third down, scrambling, getting first downs. So he's still able to compete and do everything we need.
When he does run the ball, he tends to have a tendency to kind of push for the extra yards rather than sliding. Would you rather see him slide?
Yes, absolutely.
Did you talk to him about that at all?
Yes, absolutely. But, it's a fine line. It's a fine line, especially for a competitor like him, where I want him to be smart and understand the situations where he needs to get down and not take those hits. But it's also, it's a competitive moment. It's a critical play in the game. I get it both ways, but I told him to be smart, go out of bounds when he can, get down when he can. But he's just a fiery competitor, so he's going to, at moments, fight for those extra yards.
You say like toughness of a guy like Mason Randolph. I mean, when he went down and the way he was helped off, I think it would have been easy to assume. I don't know. I mean, at least I thought when he was being helped off, I didn't know he was going to come back. And then a few drives later, he's back. So, I don't know. What can you say about his toughness and his importance to your team?
Yeah, I mean, you can't question his toughness at all. He's been battling through all sorts of things for a while now. But I think that just shows how much he cares about this group, this team, where it's going to take a lot to get him off that field. And if he does get banged up, he's going to find a way back on. So it just says a lot about his character, his toughness, but also, again, kind of where we're at offensively. I think we are playing tough. We do have guys that have that type of mentality, that have that care factor. It's just going out and executing.
What'd you make of Dylan Riley's workload? He got some action early, wasn't really able to have anything pop, and then kind of few and far between after that. How do you assess how Dylan played?
Yeah, I think a big part of that was just kind of where we're at, game flow. He got dinged up at one point, so we got to work through that. So availability is a big part of it. I think when he was back and rolling, you saw it in the fourth quarter. So that's just what happens within games sometimes.
How excited have you seen Malik be for this game?
I would say he's going to be very excited. Very proud of how he played. I thought he played really well, ran the ball really well. I think he's gotten better and better each week, so I'm excited for where he's at this week. But he'd probably be a good guy to ask.
What do you see from Fresno's defense?
Man, I know that defensive coordinator. They do a great job. They cause a lot of problems as far as getting an extra guy in the box to eliminate the run game. They do a really good job with that. Schematically, they have a lot of issues that they give you, especially in passing situations. So there's a lot to prepare for, and I think that's kind of the theme every week. It's just there's a lot of good defenses, a lot of well-coached teams. So again, it's making sure we're prepared and going out and executing, doing our jobs.
You obviously played here, and you know what it's like. This will be your 7th straight week with a game. It's your longest stretch of the season. So from a player standpoint, what's it like to play 7 straight weeks, and then how does it help you relate to the guys now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll believe me anymore if I tell them that I did the same thing. You know, it's like you can use those stories up pretty quick. But the big thing is just understanding when I can push them at practice, when I need to back off, how many reps do they really need, what can we get done without putting stress on their body. I think I have a good feel for that just from coaching, but also to your point, from playing.
What did the milk can mean to you as a player?
The milk can? Man, it meant everything. That was a huge game. That was a huge game as when I was playing. Just because it felt like every year it kind of came down to that game as far as who's going to win the conference. But just like everything, it always evolves or changes. But a lot's changed since 20 years ago or whatever.
Cool. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
You guys all ready?
Let's go.
Matching.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking.
Fire away.
Coordinated on defense and
Well, nice to see the secondary continue to play the way they have been and get some of these interceptions now.
Yeah, really good to see. Really good to see those kids having some joy out there playing. And like the really cool thing is the technique is really starting to show up on film, right? Like the first pick that Jeremiah had, that was just he made a great job tracking the ball, making a good catch. The second one, like picture perfect technique, getting in phase, looking, leaning, getting his head around when the receiver did, high pointing the football. Really good to see the drill work carrying over into the game. So I'm really happy for those guys and the DB coaches.
I mean, Jay was saying earlier, but like there was a time where the storyline was you can't get an interception, whatever, and now you're top 10 in the country right now in interceptions. I mean, they're all coming here in the last couple of weeks, pretty a lot at a time.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to, you guys are probably tired of hearing me say it, but like how those guys have practiced the last few weeks has happened in the game. Like a Jeremiah, like we talk about Ty all the time, how he practices, it shows up on the GPS, it shows up on the film. Jeremiah Irby actually had more, however you want to say it, more yardage and more high-speed runs and those kind of things in practice than Buck had, which is really hard to do. So, like, those things keep showing up, and it's a great lesson for the whole program that if you do things the right way, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that thing's going to carry over.
I think it was your first red zone interception since like 2023. What is the value of a red zone interception?
I mean, at minimum, it's a 10-point play. Could be a 10-point play. Minimum, it's a 3-point play, right? Because you like to think field goal kickers in college football, I know there's no gimmies, but, you get inside the red zone, there's probably 3 points on the board. So a minimum of 3-point play could be up to a 10-point play, could be up to a 14-point play. So those red zone turnovers are a big stat. Any turnover is, but the red zone ones are especially critical.
I guess it basically was about a 14-point play because you guys went down and scored after that, right? So, like, to get it when you guys did at that point in time in the game, because it was a 2-score game at that point.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. It's huge for defense. It's huge for the offense. It's huge for the team.
What's the importance of Zion being able to play this week for your defense?
Yeah, I mean, if Zion is healthy and ready to go, then it'd be great to get him back. Zion's a great player, and he's had a ton of experience, but I thought Derek did a really nice job in the game. Does he have things to clean up? Absolutely. Will he continue to get better? Absolutely. But happy with what Derek did, so if Zion's ready to go, we'll go, and if he's not, then Derek will do a great job stepping in his place.
What does it mean to have, for Derek, I mean, he played like almost 50 snaps or something. I mean, he hasn't even touched that this year, right? So for him to go through that, and now for you guys to come back on a Monday and have that to build off of, like, how is it different than just like when he gets out there for a couple plays in a game?
Yeah, it's way different. I think, and you guys watch as much as anybody, I think like early in the game as you watched, as I watched, it was moving a little slow, a little hesitant to pull the trigger on some, and then as he got settled in, he tackled much better. He was in the run fit much faster. He's playing aggressive in coverage, so I think you never want to say, okay, I know you're going to start slow and let's try to catch up. But I think, you need those first game series, when you're the starter or you're going in early to know what it feels like, what that speed, like our scout team does a great job, but that game speed's a little different. So getting those reps is invaluable for him, and he'll continue to build on those.
You look down at your defense right now, and I was talking about it with Spence, and Braxton put on a neck roll a couple weeks ago, and then it was Marco, and now you have Jaden doing it as well. Like, how much focus and emphasis on the fact that this will be their 7th game in a row, and just trying to keep those guys on the field, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about we got some DBs and neck rolls out there at practice. It's number one, you got to keep our head out of the tackle. Keep our eyes up. We won't miss as many tackles. That'd be a great start, and we won't get hurt. Number two, that's just the way it is, man. I mean, everybody in college football is hurt. So, like, we can't make excuses about that. We've got to find a way to practice. We've got to find a way to get those guys treatment, get them better, get them out there. And then we've got to keep developing the depth behind them in case somebody's not able to go in the game. But it'll be great. We'll grind through this week. We're going to practice really hard. Hopefully we can go out and execute in the game, and then those guys can get a week, they won't get an entire week off, but at least a little chance to rest and recover and get ready for the third part of the season.
Jaden has obviously a reputation as a pass rusher, right? But, like, if you go back to the New Mexico game, he blows up 2 trick plays. He was the guy on the fake field goal that made the tackle. I don't know if it's anticipation or if it's just simply doing his job. But, like, why is he continued to rise up in those occasions?
Yeah, I think he's done a really good job in practice, and he's also reading his keys and doing what those keys tell him to do, and he's playing really fast right now. And it doesn't always show up on the sacks, we've talked about it at length. He's getting some doubles, he's getting the slide to him, those kind of things, but he is helping the team tremendously in other areas of the game right now. I'm really proud of him for, because, that can happen, guys. Like, I need more sacks, I need to do this. He's steady. He does what he's supposed to do. He does his job. He helps the football team. He's a great captain, so really, really happy for him, really proud for him.
Who would you say is the most improved player on this entire defense since the first day of camp till right now?
I mean, I'd like to say everybody's improved. It's hard because, like,
Malachi Williams there.
yeah, I mean, he's made a ton of strides. Just coming in and I think the techniques are a little different. The way we play in the front is very, very physical. And not that they weren't where he came from before, but it's a physical demand, and the way we practice up front. So he's grown a lot. A guy like Jaden Mickey is the guy, not to say it's been so much improvement, but he came in the summertime, so we didn't really know exactly what we had until he got out there. And then, Amarion's played his best football in the last 4 weeks, so it's hard to discount him out of those conversations as well. But I think a lot of people have improved greatly since month 1 of the season.
On Marion's first pick, can you take us through that? I mean, do you see something there? Like, how is he able to put himself in such a good position on that play, despite the fact, he started on the opposite side of the field for that.
Yeah, I mean, Marion's a very football intelligent guy, and sometimes he sees premium looks, and sometimes he just has great awareness of, like, splits. What do certain splits mean? And not that you know exactly what the play is, but you're probably getting an over route or you're probably getting an under as opposed to some kind of outcut. And then he also did a great job where he thought he was going to pass it to the safety, and the safety got sucked in the run fit, and he just, one thing we talk about a lot is on those under routes, people try to climb over top and they give that ball up for a catch tackle. But if we go slice that thing underneath, we can make a play on the football, and hopefully we can get some help from the backside. And he just did a really good job with that.
So down from communication, everything, how hard was it for him to go make that play?
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe how easy did he make it? What kind of was the best way to ask?
that's a hard play that he did a really good job of all of the above, making it as easy as he could for himself, I guess.
What do you make of Fresno's offense?
Yeah, good offense. They got a lot of different looks. I think their offensive line is physical. It's going to be one of the better ones we've seen in a while. So that'll be a good test for our front. Obviously, they had a new quarterback in last week. Will it be him? Will it be Warner? I don't know. They got some talented skill guys. And once again, same as kind of we've always had in this conference, it's going to be 11 personnel, 12 personnel. They get in some 13. They get into some two-back stuff. So it's a lot of personnel groups, a lot of formations to deal with, and then just a kind of almost a different offense when you get within those personnel groupings. So another challenge for our guys to be able to line up, communicate, and let their keys help them.
What happened to David Latu back these last few weeks?
Yeah, I still think David he's back, but he hasn't been all the way back. So really looking forward to, hopefully this was the week where he really feels good. We can get that David Latu from the South Florida and those type of games back, because he was, in my opinion, he was very dominant early in the season, and then we lost him to the high ankle, and he hasn't been completely there yet. So hopefully this is the week where he comes all the way back and we can get a dominant defensive lineman back.
Brax, how good do you feel about those guys?
Yeah, I feel good with all those guys. I mean, all those guys have done a really good job, but, when David was healthy, it was really, really hard to run the ball on those two inside.
Anything else? Cool. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.